Hello, everybody. I'm back. This is MC Recovery and Wellness and Relapse Show. And, to tell you a little about myself, I have 22 years of recovery. And, we're at step 2, came to believe in a power more greater than ourselves could restore me to sanity. And that's the we agnostic. I'm just giving the breakdown of how recovery has helped me in so many facets of my life and others. So remember to hit the subscribe button right here. The click like, share it with your group or something. If you want to break down step 2 of coming to believe in a power more greater than yourself could restore you to sanity. So last time we read the textbook of Alcoholics Anonymous, I stopped at 45. And it goes something like this. I looked at the video and saw I didn't really give a full breakdown of lack of power. That was our dilemma. And we had to find a power by which we could live. See, that's the question. 2 questions. Do I lack power? And how do I find this power by which I can live? And that's how this is breaking down when you have a sponsor. So you can write those 2 questions to yourself. And then you got to look at this. And it had to be a power more greater than you. Me, myself, my kids, my brother, the job, the credit card, the bills. It has to be a power more greater than you. Greater than your car, the dog, the cat, the mama, the daddy. How is I to find this power? Well, that's exactly what this textbook is about. Its main object is to enable MC to find a power greater than himself, which will solve all of my problems. Which will solve your problems. See, what is my problem? That I lack power to stop when I want to stop when it comes to drug and alcohol. Some of y'all may lack power to stop eating that first, then second and third cupcake or M&Ms, or you might lack power in your sex life. She already has sex, but now you want more and more and more, and it's not feeling something that's within the unseen. So then it comes with some more questions. And that means this book is written, which we believe to be spiritual as well as moral. And it means, of course, that we are going to talk about God here. Difficulty arrived with agnostic. See, and we have in the rooms, we call something agnostic temperament, where, we shun off in the rooms or in the church houses or anywhere. Even when the coach talk about God, because we look at our communities and say in the news and on TV, and we ain't really feeling this thing when it comes down with people experiencing this God ideal everybody talking about, because you got these many religions and things. And then that's a question. And here's difficulty arising with agnostic. Many times we talk to the new man or the woman and watch this whole rise as we discuss alcoholism, crackaholism, foodaholism, sexaholism, and something of that sort arises. The problem and explain our fellowship. But his face falls when we speak on spiritual matters, especially when we mention God. For we have reopened a subject which our man or woman thought he had neatly evaded and entirely ignored. We know how he feels. And we have shared his honest doubts and prejudice. So that's another question. Like, am I looking at my prejudice? Am I prejudiced when it comes to this God idea? Some of y'all may be listening to me. Is you prejudiced when it comes to your Jehovah's Witness God idea, your Catholic idea, your Muslim ideas ideologies and stuff. Huh? So what? What? Am I prejudiced? Some of us have been vitally anti-religious, and in other words, God brought up a particular idea of Him, with which someone had tried to impress upon, like a heat press, steaming in me, like iron in, and impressed upon me during childhood. Perhaps this rejection and this conception, because see. Back then, I rejected the ideals that people try to impress upon me based on how my community lived. Why every time when we go to the swap meet or on Crenshaw somewhere or, at some store or if it's a big function, we see all these guys with these newspapers, these Final Call newspapers, bow tie, dressed up neat, and then we try to evade talking to them when we're young. We evading all these ideals about God. Me being growing up in a Baptist household and people knocking on the door, and then you got a parent, and then our mother allow us to stay over the babysitter house, and then guess what the babysitter does when someone knock on their door? And guess who be knocking at the door? These people that be dressed up real clean. Some of them stay in your neighborhood. You'll never see no problems over there at their house, and they be Jehovah's Witnesses. And then I remember one summer when I was a young kid, and I was visiting my cousin Michael, and then it had something to do about going to the beach. And here's another ideal that was impressed upon me. This lady got on this black and white thing over her head. We're in some room next to the beach. I know we're at the beach because we went in the room and I seen the ocean water. But we had to do some class lesson. And I guess I was trying to talk to my cousin, and the lady hit me on the hand with a ruler. And in my head, it was like, is this really about God? Why she hit me on the head with a ruler? I didn't see the flying nun. The television show lady do stuff like that. So, these are ideals that's pressed upon us. Some people take them, inscribe, and follow the principle as needed. But for this idea to be pressed upon those ideals to be pressed upon me, it was hard for me to see. So I rejected it and abandoned the God ideal entirely. We were bothered. So that's what the question is basically saying. Before I said, was I bothered by all these ideals and conceptions that I just gave you? And that's one way I could say, I lacked power. So that was all of page 45. And I'll get back with you. And I'll get back with you then. Power beyond ourselves. So, wait, I'm not going to get back. And then it says, with that thought of faith and dependence upon a power beyond ourselves was somewhat weak. That's how that power of that God idea looked. It seemed like it was kind of weak because everybody had a lot of judgment about the other congregation or religion. So the God idea for an individual, and we have to be careful with our kids to expose like all these other faiths and facets are weak. And I needed to hear that. So it wasn't that these facets are weak. I saw, it contains power. When I look at these families and these people that have these other denominations, that they found a power by which they can live. And that's what is the main objective of fellowship. Not just the book, but just fellowship. And fellowshipping, like I said earlier, is basically this. That circle and that triangle. And I'm treating my mind, body, and spirit. So with that, I would like to say, and then we look askance at the individuals who claim to be godly. See, I gave y'all that break break down. How could a supreme being have anything to do with it at all? See? And that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. How could a supreme being have anything to do with power? Well, you see, I'm not that far from, I'm not that far from Long Beach. I stay over here by a lot of factories and gas refineries, so we ain't blowing up. So those ideas and thoughts or something. The water ain't coming past Long Beach all into our neighborhoods or Santa Monica. Something is making the waves go back. When I woke up this morning, it was light outside. So I had to look at these things. I don't have the power to make this rain come out the sky. So this supreme being, maybe there is a power more greater than MC. Yet, in other moments, we found myself thinking that we enchanted by the starlight night. That's what I just broke down to you. Who then made all of this? There was a feeling of awe and wonder, but it was fleeting and soon lost. And that's when we're coming up on, yes, we of agnostic temperament have had these thoughts and experience. Let us make haste and reassure you. We have found that as soon as we are able to lay aside prejudice and express even the willingness to believe in a power more greater than ourselves, we commence to get results, even though it is impossible for any of us fully to define or comprehend that power which is God. So we have to come to believe in something. So these questions that I just mentioned, am I even willing to believe any power more greater than MC? And then that's the question my sponsor asked me. And then I said, yes. Yeah, let me believe that it is a power more greater than me. That's between the liquor store, the hookers and the drama on Figueroa or Broadway or on the streets or Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset Boulevard. I got to believe in the power that's more greater than myself to keep me in between from taking that next drink, hit or fix or whatever. And it always arises through something other than going straight and get one. So when you're in recovery, this is how it jumps off. This is basically how it jumps off. So with that, I would like to say, I'm going to do another video. Keep coming back. And remember, if you lack power, stay tuned into the station to tap into some power. And with that, I'd like to say, take care, peace, enjoy your holidays, and stay prayed up.